All right. We are missing you at school if you're not at school. Hopefully, you get better and come back soon. So, today we are covering the notes for 207, which is continuing on with multiplying rational numbers. So, it looks like this. So, flip to that in your notes. All right. So, the first part says the properties of multiplication you have read or you have used apply to all rational numbers. So it's showing you different ways you can write a negative fraction. So you can have it on the side, so negative, and then the a over b. You can have it on top, so negative a over b. You could even have it on the bottom. Okay, Big Ideas likes to do it over here on the side. I personally like to put it on the top. It kind of stands out. It's not right next to the bar. So let's look at the example they have in the book. So we have negative 1/7 times 4/5 times negative 7 times negative 1/2. Since it is all multiplication, you can use different properties if you want, where you can move them around. There's more than one way to do it. So what they did was they used the commutative property and moved the negative 7 to the front. Then they use the associative property where they move the brackets, so you actually do the negative 7 times negative 1/7, because those will actually cancel each other out and give you a 1. Two negatives make a positive. Now, by the way, there's 1, 2, 3 negatives, so I know my answer is going to be a negative. All right, so now we've got 1 times 4/5 times negative 1/2. So 1 times 4/5 is just 4/5. Then we multiply this. I would take out a 2. See how you could take a 2 out of each of those? So if you take out a 2, cross it. Now we multiply 2 times 1 and 5 times 1, and we end up with negative 2/5 or negative 2/5. I like to write it this way. So again, always make sure you know what sign your answer is going to be, and showing you some stuff. All right, let's look at the next page and work these out. So the very first thing I would do, I notice I only have one negative, so I know my answer is going to be a negative. So that'll help us at the end. Then I would change this right here to a mixed number or improper fraction. So actually, I noticed something right now. Look at these two. Negative 2/3 times 3 over 2 times 7 7/8. If you notice, this 3 is going to cancel this 3. This 2 is going to cancel this 2. So those are actually going to cancel. So you're just left with that answer. Just don't forget the negative sign. So that's a quick way to do it. Negative 7 7/8. You could have changed it to improper, canceled those out, and then still ended up with the negative 7 7/8. Some people might have got negative 63 over 8. That would work also, because that is the same as the negative 7 7/8. So that I just used the commutative property and switched it around. All right, let's look at the next one. So how many negatives do I have? One, two. Two negatives make a positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. And then you can figure out how you want to multiply this. I notice, like, let's go with these two. 100 times this would move the decimal 2 places, so that's going to be negative 702. And if I take the 0.1 times 10, so 10 times 0.1, that's going to be 1. So times that by, and it's going to be a negative 1. And then 702 times negative 1, it would be positive 702. So again, you can ignore the signs since it's all multiplication. We know our answer is going to be a positive because two negatives make a positive. And there's other ways to do it, but that's one of the quicker ways. All right, if we turn the page, we'll look at another example from the book. It says a school record for the 40-meter dash is 15.24 seconds. Predict the school record after 15 years when the school record decreased by 0.06 seconds per year. So what I would do is you would take the 15 times the 0.06 and you'd take 15.24 and subtract it from that. So let's see. So the school record equals current school record plus number of years times average yearly change. Now the average yearly change is a negative. So if you look at that, that's a negative 0.6 because you're getting faster. So it decreases by. So then they take this, and they have to do multiplication first. So we would multiply that 15 times 0.06. You end up with a negative 0.9. Add that to 15.24, and they end up with a positive 14.34. So they can predict the school record will be about 14.34 seconds after 15 years. So turn to the very last page. So on this one right here, it says a swimmer's best time in an event is 53.87 seconds. On average, his best time decreases by 0.28 seconds each of the next 5 times he swims the event. Does he accomplish his swimming goal of less than 52.5 seconds? All right, so the thing I would do is I would take the 5 years and I would times that by, if it's a decrease of 0.28, that's a negative. So I would go negative 0.28 times 5. So I multiply that out. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 10, 14. Carry the 1. Move my decimal 2 places. So they should take off 1.4 seconds. So if they had 53.87, you shave off 1 second, 1.40 seconds. We're going to subtract those. We end up with 52.47 seconds. So we want to look, did they accomplish their goal? Their goal was 52.5. So did they get it less than 52.5? Yes, they did. They got it barely, so they by 0.03 seconds. So that would be a yes. All right, so you've got your homework to work on, multiplying mixed numbers, fractions, decimals. There's some algebra where you plug the numbers in for the letters. Good luck with those unlimited checks if you do it on big ideas. All right. Have a good day. Hopefully see you soon.